Hey guys, this is Tommy with Geek Tyrant and Card Games on Computers. Konami was kind enough to send out one of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel GX Midterm Paradox boxes, and so I thought we would go ahead and just open it up here. So on the back you can see a little bit more. I don't know if you can actually read that on the screen, but the box comes with 100 commons. They're split up into 4 ready-to-play Speed Duel decks, which are usually about 20 cards each, and then there are additional cards in there for building up your deck, modifying the decks as you see fit. The 4 decks in here are based on GX characters, as you might imagine. We've got an elemental hero deck for Jaden. We've got H2O for Bastion, as you might have been able to tell. Strategy is Water Dragon. Let's see, then we've got a Roid deck for Cyrus and Gate Guardian for the Paradox Brothers. There are also 12 new skill cards for GX characters, 4 secret rare variants, and then a 2-player deluxe game mat / duel guide. So let's go ahead, we're going to go ahead and open this up and just take a look and see what all is in here. So let's go. Okay, so we're going to start with the duel guide / players mat. There we go. It's got Jaden with, I believe that's Tempest, and on one side, and on the other we've got Cyrus with Drillroid or Super Drillroid or whatever it's called. You can already see one of my super rare variants is a Hero Lives. And let's see what else we've got in here. Apparently the insert got destroyed in shipping, but the cards all seem to be fine. So let's see. Let's open this up. We've got Hero Lives, Dogoron, the Mad Flame Kaiju, Secret Rare Water Dragon. That is gorgeous. Ooh. And Sangha of the Thunder. Possibly the best Gate Guardian card. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna open these up. In theory, they're split up into decks already, so let's go ahead and take a look. Now that we're on to the skills, I'll go ahead and actually read these. So Heroes Unite Fusion is activate the skill during your main phase, discard 1 card, then fusion summon 1 elemental hero fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If summoning an elemental hero fusion monster this way, that requires 3 or more materials, and you control 2 elemental hero monsters that are mentioned on it as materials. You can also use monsters in your deck as fusion material. This skill can only be used once per duel. So that's for getting like Tempest out or Electrum out. During your main phase, you discard a card and go for one of those when you have 2 of the pieces on the board already, and then you can use your deck as well. That's pretty cool. Chemistry in Motion. We've got once per turn you can place 1 counter on this card, then apply the appropriate effect depending on the number of counters on this card. If there's 1 counter, discard 1 dinosaur monster, then add 1 dinosaur monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. If it has 2 counters, you normal summon 1 wind or water dinosaur monster from your hand. Right? Yeah. 3. The name of all water dinosaur monsters you currently control become Hydrogeddon until the end of the turn. Then add 1 bonding H2O from your deck to your hand, from your deck or graveyard to the hand. And if there are 4 counters, remove all counters from this card. Then change the attributes types of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls to fire/pyro until the end of this turn. Okay. The roids are alright. Vehicroid Connection Zone can be used to fusion summon any roid monsters from your extra deck. All roid monsters whose original level is 6 or lower can be normal summon set without tributing. That's really nice, actually. If a non-fusion roid machine monster you control whose original level is 6 or lower attacks an opponent's monster, it gains attack equal to its own level times 100 during the damage step only. If you control a non-machine monster, flip this card over. Ooh, so you're locked into machines, but that's not bad. Okay, behold, Gate Guardian. Activate this skill during your main phase. Shuffle your entire hand into the deck. Then add 1 level 11 monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, you can special summon up to 2 level 7 monsters with different attributes from your deck and or graveyard, but their attack/defense becomes 0. Also, their effects are negated. While you control Gate Guardian, it gains the following effect. Once while face up on the field, when this card is targeted for an attack, you can change the attacking monster's attack to 0 until the end of the damage step. So it gives Gate Guardian an actual effect where you can... It basically gains the same effect as Sangha and all them. So that's pretty good. Under Pressure. Activate this skill while you control Hyozan Ryu. Once per turn you can reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Then, if any of the following monsters are revealed, apply the appropriate skills in sequence. I was wondering why Hyozan Ryu was in his deck. Then place the revealed cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Carboneddon, Hyozan Ryu. 1 Hyozan Ryu you control gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. Hydrogeddon, 1 Hyozan Ryu you control is unaffected by the opponent's monster effects until the end of this turn. Oxygeddon, destroy 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, then inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Okay. That's okay. I mean, if you get Oxygeddon, you get a pop cards. That's never a bad thing. Oh, we got a Chumley. Chillin' out back. Once per turn, you can change 1 face-up koala or kangaroo monster's battle position. Koala and kangaroo monsters you control can attack while in face-up defense position. If they do, apply their defense for damage calculation. Okay, that's a fun one. Hero World. Once per turn, if you control a hero normal monster or hero fusion monster, you can discard 1 card to activate one of these skills based on the attributes of that monster. Earth, destroy 1 earth monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Wind, destroy 1 face-up spell or trap on the field. Fire, return all face-up non-fire special summon monsters on the field to the hand. Water, draw 1 card. Also, until the end of the next turn, you can activate 1 normal trap card from your hand. Light, change the battle position of a face-up monster on the field. I think... Okay. So fire bounces any non-fires that were special summoned. Earth will pop a monster, but you also lose a monster. Wind pops a face-up back row. Water lets you draw a card and activate a normal trap from your hand. So that's possibly the best. And then light lets you change battle position. Okay. Power Bond. Activate this skill during your main phase. Discard one card, then fusion summon one machine fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If you do, it gains attack equal to its original attack until the end of this turn, but it cannot attack your opponent directly this turn. During the end phase of this turn, you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained at the time of the summon. So they just took Power Bond and changed it from a spell card into an ability. Okay. I mean, I guess it doesn't go to the graveyard, so you can use it multiple times. Okay. Beware the Brothers Paradox. Apply the following skills. You can normal summon level 7 monsters for 1 less tribute. You can tribute summon 1 level 7 monster face up, in addition to your normal summon/set. Your opponent takes no effect damage. You can only attack with 1 monster each turn, but the monster you can make a second attack on monsters during each battle phase. Ooh. Okay, that's not bad. Elements of Thunder, Water, and Wind. Activate this skill while your life points are 1,000 or less. You can normal summon Suijin, Kazijin, or Sangha of the Thunder without tributing this turn. Or, if you control Suijin, Kazijin, and Sangha of the Thunder, you can apply this skill instead. Send as many cards on the field as possible to the graveyard. Then special summon 1 Gate Guardian from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Okay, lets you get it from your deck, but your life points have to be low. Believe in your bro! Once per turn, you can activate one of these skills based on the face-up monsters you control. Elemental Hero, discard 1 trap, then add 1 level 6 or lower Machine-Roid monster from your graveyard to your hand. Then, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls whose attack is less than or equal to the added cards. Machine-Roid, discard 1 spell, then special summon 1 level 6 or lower Machine-Roid or Elemental Hero monster from your deck in defense position, but negate its effects. Both, discard 1 card, then fusion summon 1 fusion monster using only Roid and Elemental Hero monsters you control. Each of these skills can only be used once per duel. So, this is kind of lame in my opinion. I mean, in speed duels, your decks are so small, it's really hard to branch out like this wants you to. I know for UFO Roid Fighter, like, that's why they have this card, but still, who's playing UFO Roid Fighter? Small Roid, Big City. This is the last skill. Once per turn, you can target 1 other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, add 1 Roid card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, when an attack is declared involving an opponent's monster and a Roid monster you control, you can send 1 Roid monster from your deck to the graveyard. Switch the original attack and defense of your battling monster during the damage calculation only. Eh. Okay, so there we go. There is the Midterm Paradox GX box for Speed Duel. What did you think? Which of these decks would you run out of the 4? Gate Guardian has my interest. Roid's might be the best. Roid is probably one of the better ones. Water Dragon, maybe. I don't know. And then I don't know, heroes just aren't my thing. The extra cards, you know, just kind of add a couple things. Necro Shaman, but there's no Necro Shade in here, so we can't throw that in. So, until next time, I end my turn.